Welcome back to the Seth Leibsohn Show. It's a delight to welcome back to the show Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. She is now a candidate for Maricopa County Supervisor in District 4. Debbie, thanks for being with us. How are you? How goes things?
Well, thanks for having me, Seth, and I'm doing great. I'm in Arizona right now. I have to fly back to D.C. on Monday.
Okay. All right. Well, we're excited that you are now going to represent us with your principles and your conservative leadership at the Maricopa County Supervisors. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the stuff you're probably hearing on the ground with regard to the border and illegal immigration. But before we do that, you know, it's a funny thing, the Maricopa County Supervisors, it's a heck of an interesting job. It's got a lot of purview. Do you want to say a word about what that job entails?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it because it's something different. As you know, I served in the state legislature for 9 years, and then in Congress now over 6 years. And so this is a different. It will be more local. Maricopa County is the fourth largest county in the nation. So we set the budget, which then sets the Maricopa County property tax rate. Yep. That it's a portion of our property taxes. We also have funding for the sheriff's office. We also do planning and zoning, also have jurisdiction over elections. So it's a really important job.
Yeah, it sure is. And you will be a credit to it when you get there. Let me tell folks to help you out by going to your website, debbielesko.com, debbielesko.com. Yes, I remember your tenure in the state legislature because I remember going to all these different LD meetings and stuff and organizations, and people would talk about different bills and pieces of good legislation and who was championing and whether I was in Mesa or whether I was in northern Arizona or whether I was in the West Valley. Time and again, people say, yes, and Debbie Lesko's got this for us. Debbie Lesko's got our back on this. Debbie Lesko's... You always do, Debbie, for our movement, and credit to you, and Godspeed on your candidacy, which for county supervisor, which anything we can do to help. I know you hear a lot about the border and illegal immigration. Just give us a little bit of an update and some thoughts on where we are with it today.
You know what? It blows my mind how Kamala Harris can... I call it out and out lie. I mean, under Trump, the number of illegal crossings had gone way down because of the policies he's had. Yeah. And since Biden and Harris have gotten in office, according to Customs and Border Patrol numbers, it's been over 10 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border. Now, that's about 8 million that crossed illegally that they know of, that they processed, and another 2 million gotaways. But there's a whole bunch more that we don't even know about. And, you know, she used to say, Kamala Harris, in her own words, would say that, you know, she wants to defund ICE. She wants to, get rid of ICE detention centers. And now all of a sudden, right before an election, she supposedly supports a border wall. She supports ICE. She raised her hand in that presidential debate saying she wants to decriminalize illegal immigrants crossing the border, and now all of a sudden, right before an election, she basically is mirroring Trump policies and saying she's going to do all these things and secure the border when she was in charge of the border by Biden. And she went down there one time. She never even met with the Border Patrol chiefs. I mean, I don't know how anybody can believe this lady. I certainly don't believe her. She's totally lying.
She lies on things. You're totally right, Debbie Lesko. She lies about things big and small, which tells me that she's actually a pathological liar. I mean, if she's willing to lie about even things like her work record before she left college to this kind of thing, she'll lie about anything. And that's dangerous. That's demagoguery. That's the kind of thing our founders warned us about putting in leadership. Yes, let us not forget that law enforcement aspect of it too, Debbie. You're right to bring it up. I remember her saying she was open to the conversation of allowing convicted terrorists to vote. I remember her talking about the reimagining of policing. By the way, as a county supervisor, you will have some authority over the sheriff's department, and law enforcement is an important part of your job there too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to support the sheriff's department and the county attorney's office because fighting crime is really important. And we have all of these people coming into our country illegal because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's border policies, which are basically open border policies. Did you know that since January of 2023, that there have been over 765,000 immigrants that have scheduled appointments for that CBP One app to get into our country, and another 520,000 illegal immigrants were flown directly into our country by Biden and Harris's new parole program that allows Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, and they just fly them in, at least 30,000 a month. And then they claim, Border Patrol crossings are down. Well, that's because they're saying they're all legal now, right?
That's
so
right.
They're diverting them to these so-called legal paths, which is unconstitutional.
Right. This is how Kamala Harris got crime down in California. You just redefine what the crime is, or redefine how much money it takes to create a felony versus a misdemeanor, right? You redefine the nature of it, redefine the word, you don't have the problem anymore. Very Orwellian, right?
Yes, and she goes around bragging on these TV commercials that she was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Well, when she was a prosecutor in California, she would not honor the ICE detainers. So she would just let these people out, and so she is such a radical liberal. And then she added Tim Walz. That guy is even more radical.
Yeah, that's important. That's such a good point that we can't let people forget. What signal are you sending with your VP pick? We can usually figure out, whether Republican or Democrat, what signal you're sending, right? I mean, we can go back in history and think it through. What was the signal she was sending with Tim Walz? Not mainstream, not middle of the road, not bolstering conservative credentials, right? Left, as far left as you could pick without going to Ilhan Omar in the same state. Well, Debbie, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I said, I hopefully people, they say that illegal immigration is one of the top issues important to people. Well, then people need to stop falling for these TV commercials where she says she's going to secure the border, or where Ruben Gallego says he's going to secure the border when he has never voted to secure the border. I mean, they're just made up.
Ruben Gallego called the wall racist. Did you know Walz could be racist? He called the wall racist. Yeah.
Ruben is a total radical liberal from his voting records, but these commercials he has are trying to paint him in a different light, aren't they?
Debbie, about you, no one can say you aren't steady and you aren't consistent, and that's why we love you. So thank you for doing it, and thank you for rolling up your sleeves and staying in public service. Again, folks, go to DebbieLesko.com to help her out. We're looking forward to your new tenure at the Office of County Supervisor. Thank you, Debbie, for everything you do.
Thank you, Seth. I really appreciate it.
You bet it. God bless you. I'm Seth